My name is Sanjay Takle and I'm into motorsports for last 37 years. Well, when I was a child, I saw on a black and white TV the Asia Pacific race, and it inspired me to see those fast cars and the drivers and the dress and all. So I was in fifth standard, and I thought to myself, well, can I do this in life? And somehow the speed got to me, and from that day, everything I did was like riding a cycle, riding a bike, everything I wanted to go fast. So that was the initial stage which the speed got into me by motivation by seeing it on the TV. When I started, it was a black and white era and very difficult. My family never support. Nobody supported motorsport those days. So we have to do everything. So I modified a bike of my own. I did a lot of things to get that bike, and then initially I entered into a two-wheel racing, and somehow at the early age I tried to ride into the motorsports. The first race I came last in Ahmedabad. I still remember. I joined a very renowned club, Para, in Pune, and that's how my career took off as a first entry to motorsports. Well, initially I was in bikes, as I said, from 1987 to 2001. 14 years I did consecutively motorsports. I did supercross, rallies, dirt tracks, everything I did on bikes. So 29 till the age of 29, I did bikes first, and then I took a break for business. And after 7 years of break, I did backpacking in this period of 7 years. I went around the world with one bag and saw the whole world. When I came back, I was not very happy with myself, and then I knew that it was a big mistake. I left my passion. So at the age of 35, I decided to come to cars, and then I started getting into cars. That's how I made an entry into the car. Cars very late. Everybody opposed me, but I said no. You can still do it. Age is only a number. Well, I managed to build a car of my own. I financed myself only, and then I started getting sponsorship. Once I started winning on the national level, I drove for Tata team, I drove for Mahindra team, I drove for Maruti Suzuki team, and that's how the sponsorship came in. And then of course after doing well at the national level, I said okay, let's go international. And then I became Malaysian champion. Then I was Asia Pacific champion, Production Cup 2013, and so on. Then I went on podium in number of times international competition also. First of all, you should love what you do, and you should have passion towards it. That's a very basic thing I would say. Once you got that, anybody can do motorsports. I'm just an ordinary boy from a village with no background of anything, but only the passion was there. So anybody can do it. Any normal person, he should love speed, bikes, and cars, and it should be an honest passion, not the hobby sort of passion, I would say. Well, navigator is like Mahabharata. You have seen Sri Krishna and Arjun. So without a good navigator, you don't know where to go, where to turn, what to do. So the speeds are so high, there's hardly you can see. Most of the time you can't see, so you have to listen and drive. That's why the navigation comes in very important. In car rallies, we recce a route, we write down the notes, the condition of the roads, and it's a very detailed information, and we have a short language. So as we start the race, the navigator relays the same information to me. So with that information, I can know what's coming up, so I can move the car accordingly, and that's how we go into rallying. Some rallies, there is only road book. We follow the road book. It's a watch and drive rally. So there are two types of things where navigator read the pace notes. In the other one, the navigator just tell the routes. Yes, I think the age does play a role in any sports, but with motorsport, there's a big difference. I think hand-eye coordination is there, but as you drive more, you got so much experience you got so many miles under your belt, or so many kilometers under your belt. So you get more used to speeds. Like you are not afraid of speed anymore. Then once you start driving at that level consistently for a long period of time, and then you enjoy being there. So I think age is only a number. Any sport, I would say. It's just a number. A lot of people have that psychology. Oh, this is the age, this is this, and they themselves make barriers for themselves. I think it's rubbish. If you believe you can do, you can always do. It's always in your head. You think, okay, I can do this. Of course, you can do this. You have to back yourself. Well, I drove two world championships. The fastest rally in the world I drove was Finland, WRC, World Rally Championship, and two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. I drove the two-wheel drive section, and I finished once 13 and once 14 in the rally. They are really fast, very, very fast. Finland, because the topography of the Scandinavia, they got so flowing roads and big jumps and big crests. So it's very spectacular and it's very technical also to drive on those kind of terrains. So I think all the WRC rallies have their I would say the own different terrains. Like we got Sweden snow, you got New Zealand white gravel, you got Latin America. So all the terrains are different. So a good driver should be able to drive on all terrains. But the Finland is my personal favorite because it's big, huge jumps are there, and I love jumps because I was in motocross. Maybe that's the only reason I would say. Winning the 2013 Asia Pacific Championship was the best thing. I won the championship at the end of round five in Japan, Hokkaido. So that's why the championship was sealed. So that was the most happiest moment on international level, I think. And of course, then there was another thing which I was very happy was when I went to Scandinavia. I finished second in the Estonian Rally Championship. So there are few, of course, there are many of them, but these few moments I always remember, I think. Roger Federer, he's got good attitude, very simple. He keeps things very simple, and I think he's also modest. I think from motorsports running, I think of course I like Sebastian Loeb. He's one of the all-time greats. Very good attitude. I always like people who's got good attitude and very humble. That's what I have always been a fan of. Well, India is coming up. We have F1. We had F1. There are good drivers coming up. A lot of breeds are coming up. A lot of youngsters are going abroad and training. I know many of them. And if somebody has to start early in Pune also, there is Amio Cup, Polo, Volkswagen Cup. There are so many competitions which are coming for the youngsters, under 20, under 24 and all. So these boys can go and try their luck there. They can go and try. Or then they can drive some teams also private. If you're financially well, you can join private teams. If you're not financially well, of course, you have to qualify through the ranks. You'll always get a sponsorship. Don't Nothing to worry. Well, as you know, motocross started in Pune, and Pune is also called the home of motorsports. Unfortunately, now nothing much happens because after the closure of the Pune Automotive Racing Association, nobody's come up with the other clubs or all. Of course, there's Arms Club and there are small clubs. They are doing their bit, but I think what Pune was before 20 years, it's not now. The racing has shifted north and south. I think the western part of India is still struggling a bit. Well, I don't know the reason behind it, but these were the places where motorsports started. Pune, for instance, they had motocross. They have international motocross in Pune. 84, 83, 85, 86 Asia Pacific Championship in Pune. The Asia Pacific Car Rally Championship happened in Pune. So a lot of people don't know this. 2004 Asia Pacific, the first round for Asia Pacific came to Pune. So Pune has always been a home of motorsports, and I'm sure it will come up. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with the situation, and I think the youngsters will pick up. I'm sure. Well, there's nothing much as infrastructure in India as compared to abroad. But I think things will grow further. I think you have to do everything on your own. Still now, there's no institutions, but now people are taking rally classes, rally schools. Some places you can go and learn go karting. So now it's coming up. Pune has got one go kart track at Haradi, I believe, or one at Nagar Road also, I believe. So people can go and learn there. I'm sure there are a lot of things coming up now. I think the government should also can contribute from themselves. There are a lot of sponsors because most of the motorsports companies are rich. I'm sure they will come, so they should be encouraged to come and sponsor. The government should give them facilities or give them permissions. And I think the motorsports is one of the biggest and the largest sports on the planet, one of the richest sports if I'm not wrong. I think India cannot be behind, I would say.